There are other magicians on the project, like Craig Petty's Q52. I forgot. I think Zach and I can't think of the other guy, but he gave a nice routine too. Oh, by the way, this is the Rubik's Cube, Erno Rubik's Cube. Well, it said Erno Rubik's on there. And it's a speed cube. This is the original Rubik's Cube, although they made it gold to represent 50 years of Rubik's Cube that started out in the 1980s in America, 1970s in the Hungarian area. The missionary, I can't think of his name, he said, I saw someone with a Rubik's Cube, because he's a missionary for Hungarian, and he showed a lot what's there, and one with a Rubik's Cube, and I was going to whip out my Rubik's Cube, but he beat me to the punch. He said, I saw someone with a Rubik's Cube, and then I whipped it out, held it up, and he said, well, you can solve it, but he said, I have it at my house on my dresser, and it's still not solved, but it's good you can solve it. And everybody in church, David Bassinet and others, said, I knew that Rubik's Cube was going to get in the spotlight one way or another. I said, yeah, definitely. On live stream, they didn't show me raising it up. It's just, they just put a close-up of the Rubik's Cube and other things from Hungarian. I was telling everybody, yeah, Uno Rubik's came up with a 3D pattern for his students, because he's a professor, and it was made out of wood, and it wasn't square yet. It was kind of half cut. They recently made that version of it in plastic. I had that one. I don't know what I did with that one. But anyway, I might have gave it to Tommy because, it's slightly made different. But with the original one anyway, they got it in plastic and it became a hit. And this thing has lasted the test of time. To my mind, God let Uno put it in his mind, because the new heaven's going to be shaped like a cube, guarded by angels on all sides of the cube. It's for symbolic meaning. And then Pastor Astor said, and Pastor Cole have also said that about the new heaven and new earth. That Pastor Cole said, it doesn't say if the cube the new heaven is shaped like a cube, lands on earth, or does it stay in the midair in the sky. The Bible doesn't say. He wants it to be a surprise. Anyway, and Tommy said to Craig Hartman, evangelist or missionary, I can't think, from New York, Tommy said, is that like the Borg? Yeah, like the Borg in Star Trek. Although, watching Star Trek on TV, sometimes the Borg ships are not square. They are circled. So, there's a variety there. But for a Rubik's Cube, it's always been squared. God wants everybody to get used to the square heaven. Anyway, New Earth. Pastor Astor said that no more colds or viruses or diseases. It'll be filtered out so you don't run into a cold in midair. Stuff like that. Uh-oh, the lighting is messing this up again. But you can see that the original Rubik's Cube was a tad bigger, and this is just smaller. You can see the difference.
I just got finished with the Q50.
Man, it takes a long time to drink that. A long time ago, you drank it like candy.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's
Maybe,
going to snow.
maybe you was in some other multiverse. You came across another Tommy. See, sometimes your body, you don't think so. Your body can transport to another multiverse. So when you got up one day, you're not in our universe. You got up and you're in another multiverse. And my other image told you that. Went back to sleep, went back to your universe. That does happen.
Man.
I have a friend of mine who went from one universe to another universe.
Yeah, very
So
funny.
it might have been my other multiverse.
Yeah. The gold represents the yellow, as you can tell. See the gold and yellow. I was doing this with dice in the 1970s and 1980s. So when I saw Stephen Bundy do it with cubes, I just did the same thing. And then Bob said, "Hey, that's how Stephen Bundy did it. How'd you figure it out?" Well, I did it with dice when I was it was 1970s, 1980s. He just helped me to think of that when I was doing dice tricks. And I thought, hey, this is neat. I made my own idea with the dice. I'm sure I'm not the only one who came across that. And then Stephen Bundy took that same concept and did it with the Rubik's Cube, matching. And Henry Arias too, and Tecumseh Uzi and all that stuff. Um, I showed Matthew Brown, Kimmer Brown's oldest son, this mix, and I showed his oldest son the same thing. See, it's mix, added with my checkerboard mix. I do my checkerboard again. Then I look for the pattern for the Tiki-Meki thing. And it's all. Tiki-Meki came out with a good thing too. Now Sam Hung of Crazy Sam Solve, his expansion solve is pretty good. And Greg Wilson's part of the Rubicon is a good one too. Once I get my mind into gear here we go. Dooney Tune showed me that mix. And then here's my mix I came across in the 1980s, but I didn't realize that it was a mix. But learning all these patterns, I was like, hey, I had a pattern a long time ago and didn't even know it. I used the fish pattern. Do some false shuffles with any of them. Ta-da! Stephen Brundy's got some good mixes. That's a pretty good mix. And then you go, boom, and it's solved. And then add his neat false shuffle with any pattern. Well, it would have, but didn't get caught there. But anyway, there it is. And then if I do the Steve Brundy's routine and then to add my own mix, the checkerboard, you just help me come across that one. And then do it again. And then remember the pattern I was using. No. See, it's important to know what color you're using to do it. Now I gotta find it. It's one of these. No. See, if I remember what top I started with, I would have knew right off the bat. Here it is. Would have done it quicker. I showed I mean. Okay, white's the top. And I do my mix. Do a steamer bunny spin. See, I know white's the top, so I can see if you keep track of the colors, you can get it done quicker. There's Eddie Vac Speed Cooler Mix. This is like a Mickey Mouse ears. Oh man, I'm sitting there doing it now. I can't think. Oh man, now I can't do it. Oh well, it'll come to me later on. Here's Stephen Brennan's Imagination Song. Man at 20 moves away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, that's not it. I get used to doing the evac and then I forget it. This goes that way, this goes this way, that goes that way, that goes this. There it is. And with that pattern, I can also put it on the other side, and it's the same kind of mix. Not all patterns are like that. Now the seam bondage in the bag saw, behind the back saw, the wave saw pattern. Here's another bolts mix coming around, and then he said you can use this one for any pattern. And here comes the hard pattern. You and KVG and Colin Claus use this. They use the bottom too, but it's kind of risky. Could mess up. Okay, I got it right this time. It's kind of risky. Now see, this thing is getting blurry again because of the sun brightness, and it's messing it up.